social care providers, including care homes, home care agencies, and some other organisations providing local public services. If your complaint is about something other than these, we will not be able to help you. The best and quickest way to make a new complaint to us is to visit our website at www.lgo.org.uk. There you'll be able to check whether your complaint is one we can consider, and you'll be able to submit your complaint at a time suited to you, using our already have an existing complaint with us, then directly. If you have an urgent or emergency issue, please contact your local authority provider.
You're right.
Tolerate verbal abuse or threatening behaviour.
Which is what I've had.
Your call may be recorded for training and monitoring purposes.
And that's why I'm recording legally my end. That's why legally under DPR I'm recording my end for my own personal purposes. And why I've recorded abuse from people managing my local council accommodation where I've been attacked. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Who's speaking? Sorry, please.
My name's Sarah.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I've got a reference number.
Okay, what's the number?
Thank you. It's 21018.
Yeah.
455.
And can I take your name?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. It's Bryony McCarthy.
Okay. I'm just bringing up the details. It looks like it's a case of our assessment team. So how is it we can help?
Yes. Well, I rang. Gosh, I can't remember one day to the next because of the stress. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I spoke to someone. I've got all the details, but not in front of Rob. That's it. Yeah. He was very nice. I spoke to him for nearly 2 hours. I've got an update on something that's very serious, because I have to say I'm feeling. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'm feeling intimidated and almost threatened by the local MP office, because my end, I'm recording my conversations and everything. And well, I'm recording everything. I'm documenting everything from my own, obviously. Now, basically, I phoned the local MP office. It was after I had spoken to Rob Morris. I'm trying to. I haven't got the details in front of me, date and time, but it was after I'd recorded my conversation with Rob, and I rang the MP office, and I gave my name and everything. Now I've been leaving endless voice messages for the MP office, which I've recorded and documented, and I asked for David, the caseworker, whom me and my lady witness, Juliet, who is a witness to the terrorism in my notorious shared council accommodation. Now, David, he said he would be more angry than me that if he had been through what I've been through, and he said they get a lot of complaints like this, because obviously Rob is aware of all the ins and outs and horrific details. But basically, the lady that I spoke to, Lucy, I've got one or two people. I haven't heard. Oh, sorry, there was a very loud bang. Sorry, it just suddenly. Sorry, because I'm staying in a hotel. The bang sort of. It's a very loud bang. Sorry, it just suddenly. Sound. Sorry, it suddenly startled me. Sorry. Sorry, it's my anxiety. Anyway, sorry. As I was saying, so I was speaking to Lucy, and she said that someone had phoned on my behalf that very morning. A man. She wouldn't give any details. She wouldn't give the name of the person. But I have someone called Scott has he listened to the what I had to say and everything, and he said it was him. I'm already aware that he'd rang the House of Commons on my behalf and everything. But it's a little bit difficult for me as a vulnerable person, because I have to sort of be, obviously it's difficult for me because if I haven't personally met someone, I can't comment myself on what has and hasn't been said. So I'm only saying what Lucy said to me, and it's all recorded. Is she's saying that a man had rung the House of Commons on my behalf, and she said she wouldn't give details, wouldn't give the name of him or anything, but she said she claimed that he was aggressive and all this sort of thing. Now, I've had the same said about me because I've been lied to and fobbed off, and well, this is all ongoing. So I said, obviously I don't condone aggressive or I don't condone swearing or anything like that. And I have the intelligence to one should have the common sense to know the difference between distress and aggression. But I've never ever been aggressive or threatening, and I wouldn't expect someone else to be. So I couldn't comment myself, but she said he's banned from speaking on my behalf. Now, I have to say, even without personally having, I know what he sounds like, but I haven't, because I'm basically in a community of other people who've got their issues and things. But I have to say, I personally believe him. And he said that she wasn't the least bit interested. Well, I know, because you can hear the conversation for yourself. And she actually lied several times throughout the phone call alone. And she said she wouldn't hang up on me and she did. And I've had this with other officials. So, and they're not allowed to do this. I've had a call handler from the Local Government Ombudsman hang up on me, and I've got that recorded and their name. So they're not allowed to do this. So, yeah, again, so she said that she has, can you believe this? She has reported this to the police, despite the fact that Scott called the police because he was concerned about my welfare and my deterioration of mental health, etc., etc. And I didn't want to answer the door to the police because they're the ones who are also complicit in 6 years of torture. Because, as Dan Saxby from Brighton Housing Trust said, I could go to the Local Government Ombudsman for compensation because many people in my position are being detained in police cells as homeless. So I could report this individual from the MP office for her. Well, she's left me in. She, like the local MP, has basically just left me in these sort of a vulnerable woman with in these dangerous circumstances, because I'm too afraid to walk through the door of my shared council accommodation. And as I said, during our phone call, I caught her out. Well, she lied. She said that there was no David. And I very clearly said David several times. But that's not the only thing she lied about. For example, just saying that she wouldn't hang up on me when she did, and a few other things. I've written it all down, and I've got the conversation recorded. She asked me if I was recording, and I didn't answer it. That's my right to do that legally. But it's just, I just wanted to say this, and I've also had someone else say that they phoned the MP office on my behalf. Again, I can't comment anymore on that, because this is not someone that I have met, and obviously I haven't heard the conversation. But given everything that I've been through as a lonely and vulnerable woman, where I've had officials, public servants, so to speak, like the PCSO, for example, accusing me of making malicious phone calls, when I've actually recorded call handlers being obnoxious and hanging up on me, leaving me frightened and vulnerable. So this is very serious. I'm just about hanging in there, so to speak. But I just wanted to add this to my reference, because as you can imagine, I'm just thinking, so to speak, I'm now using the phrase my partner used, thinking of what my next move is going to be, because when you've just done everything humanly possible, and she just kept repeating, I kept repeating myself, they love these trigger phrases. I said to her, and I've documented at what part of the live stream that I said something which, and I've even rung her back to leave voice messages to say what part of the conversation she lied, just an FYI, so to speak. Saying, well, no one's going to hang up on you. And I said to her, this is what, it's almost comical. I said to her that I've had people say to me, we're going round in circles, and hang up on me. I actually had someone from the Local Government Ombudsman do that to me. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to record it because I was on a section 136. I'd been beaten by the police and assaulted by nursing assistants. And, well, a year on, they delete these conversations, as Rob Morris said. So they delete, so I've got no evidence of that. But it's like I'm being pushed to do harm to myself under duress and whatnot, because of my obviously my deteriorating mental health. It's nothing is about help and support. It's about fear and control, which is why I'm too afraid to open the door to the police. I mean, as soon as the police come round, I'm terrified. They're supposed to be public servants, but they cannot be trusted. And I would just like to add that the people I'm talking about are in a community of police abusing powers community, corruption and whatnot. They're not anti-police, they're anti-corruption. This is what this is all about. So I just wanted to basically add to my reference that basically that's what's happened. Is I've made this phone call to, I've left so many voice messages, as I said, that I've recorded, never heard back, and she has said that we'll get back to you. Oh, also, yesterday I phoned, or I tried to get through to someone who, I played the recording of their voice message saying that they've been allocated to me for housing. I texted, as they asked, I texted them my email address. I haven't heard back. I left a voice message for them, and I also left a voice message for David Sharp, the housing needs specialist, which I've recorded. I've been told he's off sick, but that was weeks ago, and I haven't heard back. So I'm constantly being fobbed off or lied to, or both. And I'm now feeling threatened by the local MP office. I've also, 3 weeks ago, on the 15th of March, I filled out an online application for Josh Babarend, OBE. He's a Lib Dem candidate who's supposed to take over from Caroline Ansell. He's publicly said, you can look it up online, that he's unimpressed with Caroline Ansell, as many people are. She's in it for her party and not the people, Tories. And I've never heard back from him. But Lucy, anyway, there we are.
I'll make a note of that. I mean, obviously we have no jurisdiction over MP's office or these people, but what I'll do is I'll put it down because obviously it shows what you get up against and what you're trying to deal with. So I have noted it, but in terms of what we can investigate, it's going to be outside of what we can look at. I can see Rob has already sent it to our team, so what will happen is, at the moment, there's nothing more we can do, but an investigator will contact you and advise you once they've had a look at the case. Okay, so Rob sent it on. So I've added that information on, so that they'll be aware of what's happened since you spoke to Rob as well. Okay.
Right, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, thanks very much for that. Can I just ask, will this be, can I just ask you, what I've just said, though, it will sort of be put on the system, so to speak?
Yes, I've added it to the notes of the case, so it'll be on there, but like I say, it's not something we can investigate, but obviously it shows what you're up against and what you're going through. So I've added that onto the notes of the case, along with Rob's from the other day when you spoke to them, so it's all there together, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. You take care.
All right, thank you very much. You too. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Right. Okay. So what the lady's name was? It's at the start of the recording. Yeah, that's that. Okay. Ian, just to say, no, I put dirty, these are dirty clothes, I mean, no, I put clean clothes on just now, I mean, yesterday after a bath, but these are dirty, I mean, what I mean is, I put dirty clothes on to go and get a takeaway breakfast just a little while ago, because I like to be, I'm obsessively clean, scrub. It's, I am obsessively clean nowadays. I do things I never used to, but that's stress. So I've put dirty clothes back on I need to go and have another bath. So I don't care what I say. Anyway, I hope, I just hope you don't take it personally that I haven't. Anyway, I am going to read your text messages, and thank you. But can I just say, if Bobby is still watching, because he said he rang the MP office himself, and he had the phone put down on him, he says. So he's telling me, can I just say, if anyone does do that, could you please do me a favour and please record it for me? Please, would you record it for evidence? And of course, I would be really interested to hear for myself what they're saying about me. Not that I don't believe you, but they hate me. They just hate me. They're evil. Yeah, so I need to put more in the description below that because I'm only, so much has happened that I have to just take it easy, because I remember
as I was speaking to the lady in this phone call, Sarah, a little while ago, that Lucy, during my phone call to Lucy at the MP office, Lucy, and I know where exactly during the live stream she said it, and I've recorded it, you know, where exactly she said, I won't be doing that. I won't be saying to you, we're going round in circles. And she said, I won't be hanging up on you. And she did exactly both of those things. That's how ridiculous it was. And also, as I said, during this phone call to Lucy, I'm so glad I remembered to say to her, because it's not in the forefront of my mind, that she said I said to her, as you can see the evidence in the live stream, someone from the Local Government Ombudsman has hung up on me previously, as well as people from the council, and it's all documented. But also, more importantly, someone from the Local Government Ombudsman on the Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, because I'm going to put this in the description below, that on that date, when I was beaten by the police during a welfare check, I had been for hours on the phone to the Local Government Ombudsman and then a social worker, I don't know in which order. But then the manageress of the hotel decided she didn't want me there. And it was a receptionist who had said that people from Hastings were being sent there, and the paper got involved. I was once sent there by the DGH hospital and then turned away as homeless. They said, we don't accept people from adult social care and all this rubbish. And that was in 2018, that the incident I've just described. And I'd already been reported missing in the local Herald and dragged backwards in handcuffs back to a psychiatric unit where so much has happened. So I have to document all of this. But yes, it was on Wednesday, the 21st of October 2020, when the police beat me, put it in the Herald that I beat them. It was on that day. Actually, I think I should just let them know. I don't know why I'm putting it on YouTube right now when I could actually be telling her this right this second. I could be doing this right now.
Thank you for calling the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman. We look at individual complaints about councils, all adult social care providers, including care homes and home care agencies, and some other organisations providing local public services. If your complaint is about something other than these, we will not be able to help you. The best and quickest way to make a new complaint to us is to visit our website at www.lgo.org.uk. There you'll be able to check whether your complaint is one we can consider, and you'll be able to submit your complaint at a time to suit you using our online form. Please be aware that even if you speak to an advisor, we will usually ask you to complete the online form. If you already have an existing complaint with us and a named contact, please contact them directly. If you have an urgent or an emergency issue, please contact your local authority or care provider. We usually expect you to have completed their complaints process before we can consider your complaint, and we expect them to respond appropriately.
I'm just ringing the Local Government Ombudsman to actually make sure they have this on their notes, because social care my ass. They don't even know how to be social in the first place. Yes, exactly, Ian. Exactly. It's
Hello, you're Sabina. How may I help you?
oh, hello. Sorry. Yes, sorry. To whom am I speaking, please? Sorry.
My name is Sabina.
Sabina. Okay, thank you very much. I rang just a little while ago, but I realised because I'm under so much stress that I don't think of always saying something at the time, and
Okay.
but you know how because of the overwhelming stress and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm able to put this into clearer words now because I've given so much information. You know how it is. It's very difficult I need to make sure that this is on the system because this is so very, very, very serious. I've got the reference number. It's 21 018 455. Thank you.
Can you confirm your name for me, please?
Yes, thanks. It's Bryony McCarthy.
Thank you. Can you confirm your first name, address, and postcode?
I use my partner's address.
What is the address that you provided to us?
The address that I've provided to you for correspondence, I'll just tell you that. It's flat 10, Lovell Court. It's BN 21 2.
Okay, thank you. So I can see that your case is actually with John Baker. He is the assessor that's been allocated to the case for the caseworker. You will need to speak to him if you want to discuss the case in more details. I can give you his details if you want.
John Baker is the assessor. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yes, please.
I'm just getting those details for you. Just a second. Yeah, his phone number is 0330.
03 30, yes.
Yeah, so that is, I'll start again. So 0330.
Yes.
403.
403
4625.
4625. Okay, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
No worries, you're welcome.
Thank you. Do you think I was about to give you some information. Do you think it would be I should ring him or give you the information?
Now you should discuss this further with him. As soon as your case has an assessor, they are your point of contact.
Oh, okay then. All right. Thank you. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that now then. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Right. Okay. I wasn't told that by Sarah a little while ago. I've got an assessor called John Baker. You get it's just like what happened with John Alexander Patterson, and I'm going to use his phrase, that amazing man who went to Scotland Yard with some very serious documents to do with NHS baby organ donor. He showed me the legalese documents in the psychiatric unit. The Ministry of Defence had worked with Sussex police who were out of their jurisdiction outside the Royal Courts of Justice. We're talking high levels. That's why the nursing assistants didn't want him talking to anyone, but he was passing the information around to people like me. That's how I know about people like Andy Devine and Angela Power Disney and all of that, and I don't want to get involved in all the nasty stuff, but if someone's being nasty, I do call them out. And if they want to think I have a loose tongue, that's not my problem. I'm here for me, because no one else is.
Social Care Ombudsman. Please be aware that your call may be recorded for training and monitoring purposes.
John Baker
is on the phone. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the hash key.
Hello there. This is a message for John Baker, who's been allocated to me as my assessor. I've just spoken. I've spoken a little while ago at great length to someone called Lucy, and I've updated her with some very, very serious things, and it involves the local MP office. But I was actually ringing because I wanted to add some very serious information, which I'm, due to all the trauma and the stress I've been put under, I've only just found it sort of a little bit easier to put it into words that would make it easier for other people to understand. It's regarding the last time I contacted the Local Government Ombudsman, and I'm not talking about a few weeks ago when I was hung up on because I've had to record all of this for my record and document everything. The last time before that, the first time I'd ever contacted the Local Government Ombudsman, the same phrases that are being used by the local MP office were going around in circles and hanging up. After I'd been beaten by the police and nursing assistants, which was all orchestrated, I might add, because I had just literally been on the phone to the Local Government Ombudsman and a social worker, and then a hotel that I was self-funding with my disability welfare money, my severe disability money. I'd been self-funding for my safety because of these dangerous council accommodations, which I should not legally be in. I was then threatened by a guest, which put me in distress, and I went up to our world famous suicide spot, Beachy Head, in distress. And then yet again, Sussex police had orchestrated. But Dan Saxby from Brighton Housing Trust was the one who'd said a few years ago that I could go to the Local Government Ombudsman for compensation because they were unlawfully detaining vulnerable people in my position. But I just really needed to put this into words, the date, because I still have not had the MP office. Caroline Ansell has not helped me regarding what happened to me with the police, the clothes that they took off my body after beating me, the clothes they ruined, a lovely pair of canvas trousers and my shoes. And this has since happened several times after. And as I said, I have a lady witness, Juliet, who can provide an affidavit of truth, a lady up the road who took me in for my safety. I've recorded the neighbours complaining and the local council do nothing. So I've basically been targeted. So John Baker, the assessor for my case, I've been fobbed off and lied to. I rang that. I left voice messages for someone called David Sharp, who's meant to be housing needs specialist. Someone who was allocated to my case yesterday. I've recorded this, documented it. Yes, so this is all ongoing, and I do need to speak to you very urgently, please. Rob Morris, I spoke to him for about 2 hours. I have a letter where they'd asked me to provide a my phone number, which I've done, obviously. And he's working as quickly as he can, but my money's running out. I've been self-funding a hotel for 6 months for my safety. So I would like to hear back from you, please.
Thank you.
Very long. What was that? I leave the longest voice messages in the world. You will never get a longer voice message than unless it's from me. But anyone would think that I want to be doing this. This is not a hobby. It's not a hobby. I'm smiling because I'd rather smile than go and buy another knife and basically stab myself to death, which is what I've done in the Strand Hotel. Well, I didn't stab myself to death, but you know what I'm saying. I'm smiling because in this country, that is what you have to do. They think everything is resolved with a cup of tea, despite the overwhelming trauma that can lead to dementia and cancer and heart disease, and why a social worker landlord had said to me while my mother was dying, you might want to check you haven't inherited cancer. The best years of my life have gone down the drain because of this. So there we go. Sorry, excuse me. I just read the comments. The sun is out down there. Have you got anything planned for later? No, I need to get some food. Have another bath because these are dirty clothes. I put the dirty clothes back on just to go and get my takeaway, which, you know, this is all costing money. This is 6 months I've been self-funding, and I don't know if I'm supposed to check out in 3 days. This isn't, no one should be put through this. I'm hanging on to life by a thread. I've had to go through so much pain and torture on my own. Anyway, I'll try and get some fresh air. Yes, yeah, I do that too, Ian. Yes, I like to leave long messages 3 to 4 times in a row. Have you seen all my live streams? It gets a little bit embarrassing after a while, but I had to leave voice messages for Lucy, just if nothing else, to get a little bit of pleasure out of holding a mirror up and showing her the lies that she couldn't. I'm the one who's supposed to be the one that's on severe disability because of mental health issues, and I'm going to these people for help, and they're crazy. They don't like being recorded because, as you say, a good liar has to remember their lies. So I took great pleasure in ringing back several times. So when they get back into the office, they'll go and look at the answer machine and, oh my gosh, it's Bryony again. Of course. What do you expect? They've created so much trauma and so many problems for me it's a fact. I'm not the only person to say this, that there are more people that work in mental health down here, including my sister, who they probably like her because she fits in with the LGBT rubbish. You know, the government, well, let's just say to be PC, the gender agenda. She worked for South Down Housing, and they're the people that have failed me. 26 years I've been trying to get help. 26 years. Brave Bryony battles on. That was before the last 6 years of non-stop torture from these people. And yet in London, there are less people that work in mental health, but I've been told the job gets done. Down here, sunny Eastbourne, where everyone's got their head in the clouds, their heads are stuffed firmly up where the sun doesn't shine, but it's the sun trap of the south. I could tell you some things. The place where I had bed bugs crawling on me and nutcases taking drugs and banging and screaming and shouting. I took a photograph of what was on the door. It said something about welcome to Eastbourne. I just wish I'd had an iPhone because the Brummy couple that own the hellhole, which is right next door to where my supported accommodation is, and I'm not going to say where it is because there's some things I don't want to say on YouTube. But the Brummy couple that own the place, they were like, "You've got to pack your stuff up and leave." You should have seen the kitchen. There was a woman covered in sores all over from bed bugs. I had a nutcase knock on my door and say, "If you're going to jump off Beachy Head, jump off Beachy Head. I've effing had enough of welfare officers here." You could write a black comedy about this. Anyway, there we are. Why have the council refused to house me? Exactly, Ian. I've got so many things. They don't like me because I'm exposing their evil, their lies, their fraud. They made me homeless, Ian. For I showed them photographs of bed bugs crawling on me. I complained about my public order offences being committed in my own accommodation. I've actually recorded neighbours complaining about the last one, the one that I'm keeping away from. If you listen to my 2-hour conversation, hang on a minute, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to save this number to my right, John Baker. Save it. Right. Why is it not? Right, hang on a minute. Sorry. John Baker. I won't keep, repeating. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean that rudely. It's just it's something that Dan has told me to do, is just concentrate on doing what I need to sort of, because it's just so, I just sound like a broken record all the time. And it doesn't go anywhere. I just hope that people are telling me the truth, because I've been lied to. Brian is one of my moderators, and this woman who claims to be in a wheelchair that won't show her face, she's lied to me. This is what I mean. She could be lying, but either way, she lied about me. She said she didn't know who Dan is, and yet under Dan's live stream, she's even played the theme with a video a few minutes long, moaning about me and lying. And she said the council tried to help me, that I don't live in that town anymore. I'm still in Eastbourne. They're trying to bully me out. And this is a woman in a wheelchair, for crying out loud. This is what I'm trying to say. I can't trust anyone. I can't trust anyone, basically. So I just hope you understand why I haven't answered the phone to you. It's a horrible position to be in. I can't tell you, when you just can't trust anyone. It's the people who should be, do you know what I mean? 6 years, they've made me sleep rough. They've put me in police cells.
Social Care Ombudsman. Please be aware that your call may be recorded
I'm
for training and monitoring.
Dan Saxby from Brighton Housing Trust.
On the phone, please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the hash key.
Hello, this is a voice message for John Baker, the assessor who has been allocated to me. I don't know if you got that last message, as it just cut out because I spoke for so long. I just leave it. It's very urgent. It's regarding many serious issues. It's had to go to the highest level. I was on the phone to someone called Lucy a little while ago, just updating her about how I'm feeling intimidated by the MP office. Someone at the MP office, my lady witness to my shared council accommodation terrorism. We'd gone to speak to someone called David at my local MP office, and I'm now feeling threatened. I've been hung up on. I've recorded everything for my personal documentation and evidence, and she's hung up on and banned someone who has contacted the MP office on my behalf and reported it to the police. I can't comment because I didn't hear the conversation for myself, but it was out of concern for me. And I'm feeling very, very scared because of all of this. Very scared. My life has actually been put in danger because of the local authorities. My lady witness is all I have, actually. So I would appreciate it if you could urgently contact me back on my number. I'll just give you my number. So I have to walk away because I'm live streaming at the moment. So I don't want people to hear my number as it's public. So I have public supporters. It's 079-236-15806. And as I said, yesterday I recorded my voice messages for David Sharp, the housing needs specialist, and another lady who was meant to have been allocated to me to support me at the council, and they're just lying fobbing off. And I've got years, the last 6 years, have been extremely traumatic. I've been detained in police cells and told by Gansack Street Brighton Housing Trust that I could go to the Local Government Ombudsman for compensation. I'm not the only victim. It's forced to sleep rough and complaining about bedbugs falling on me, bedroom window smashed, physically assaulted, attacked, you name it. Several suicide attempts. Thousands of pounds I've spent on hotels with back severe disability pay. So just to let you know, that's all I want to say. I need to speak to you regarding everything that's happened. There's a massive urgency. Thank you very much. Right. So I hope they get that. Well, I've done that anyway. So I see where it goes anyway. I've done the best I can. I wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't have made all these videos. Anyone would think that this is a hobby. I set up a YouTube account specifically because of what I've been put through specifically over the past 6 years. I had problems before all of this, and that's why I kept asking, because I've been with my partner for all of that time. And why don't his parents care? Why is no one helping? This is more. I think there is more to this than corruption, but I've got to be careful what I say, because I don't want my partner to be behind all of this. But I've become extremely vulnerable before and since my mother died and my mental health deteriorated. Why don't people listen? I've seen some of what's on my records. I've heard the lies. I've heard it all. And I've also seen what's been done to other people. And I will die telling the truth. So there we go. I'm going to go and have a bath, put some clean clothes on. I just had to get a takeaway breakfast. But all of this costs money when you don't have cooking facilities and you're buying takeaways because you're too tired to go out to get food because you're drained. £300, more than £300 a week to stay in a hotel. But this is what I mean. Even those who are working in the truthers communities are bullies and liars. Caroline Stevens, CarolineStevens.net Seeking the Truth. What a lovely Christian lady or woman of Yahweh. She talked me out of suicide, prayed for me. I accidentally, for 7 hours, had left the live stream running. And instead of deleting it, I decided to keep it. And I did as she asked. I deleted it, and then she threatened me just because I asked her why did she say PC Franklin Lester's real name was Dan something or other. There are a lot of Dans around, just for, by the way. There was the security guard who said that witch that works at Meadowfield that threatened me. She was a nutter. Why are there so many nutters around? Anyway, I just hope that I can trust you guys. Do you see what I mean? Because, if Caroline Stevens can be all demented and she sounds all lovely and maternal, I hope you guys. Because I don't know what people are and aren't doing. Even if I've met you guys, you could still lie to me. My partner, whom I'm in a very intense, close relationship with, I've shared my soul with him. So anyway, I just hope, Ian, you don't take it I just hope you don't take it personally when I'm not going to do the bloody sorry thing anymore. It's doing my head in. It's pain in the You don't have to say, but can I ask what your mental health disabilities are? Because I have a plain brewing in my head, but I have to go into the legal side of housing vulnerable women. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit confused with what you're saying. Oh, you mean a plan brewing in your head? Ah, right, okay. Well, I don't like the labelling thing because of how they've used it to control me and abuse me. So I just say complex issues because, as Tina said, someone who has complex issues should not be put in temporary housing, but that's something they do. This is why they hate me so much, because I'm not being a typical British person who just goes along with the sheep. My late mother said when I was a child, Bryony doesn't follow the sheep, and I never have. So I know there are government agents watching this as well, because of the people that I've met in the positions that I've been in, i.e. John Patterson, Andy Devine, and and because of their links to these, and they turned out to bully me, and I had respect for them. So can you understand that even with, and I hope Dan, and I pray that Dan is better, because that sounded very serious, the thing about, he had what might have been a stroke. 1 hour he waited for an ambulance. I've wasted taxpayers' money. I have. Well, not me personally, but they've always called ambulances for me. I've never had to wait long. They've been right there. Probably because they want to section me and disappear me and fill me with drugs and hope that I'll die. But Dan had to wait an hour, despite the fact that it sounds like he had another stroke. But they get me an ambulance just like that. And I feel bad because you couldn't make this up. You couldn't make it up. When I stabbed myself through the arm with a 6-inch knife in the Strand Hotel in December 2018, I'd been reported missing in the local Herald. The police just drag you back. You wouldn't do this to an animal. you wouldn't do this to it. You just would not do this to, if you go out there and you find an injured animal or whatever, you know, oh, poor thing, and you're careful with it. Find a vulnerable, terrified mental health, right? Handcuff them, drag them. I was dragged backwards like this with my hands over my, they could have, I dread to think what they could have done to me, what damage they could have done to me. PC Curtis and PC Arthur Davini dragged me back to the psych unit. But in September of that year, I'm self-funding the Soho Hotel. Darren snatched a knife from me. He had to have stitches where his tendons are. I don't even want to think about it, but he could have lost the use of his... He ran out of the hotel. No one called an ambulance for him. I ran out of the hotel, and do you know what I did? I ran into the sea. They weren't helping me. I was in the same position I'm in now, and I ran into the sea because I'd had enough of it. But do you know what? PC Mark Vittler, who's been watching my mental health deteriorate, he stood on the edge of the beach with, funnily enough, a PC McCarthy. They stood there watching me in the sea, and they said, Bryony, look to your left or to my right. And you couldn't make it up. It was ridiculous. I had an audience on the seafront, and the Coast Guards dragged me into a boat. And yet illegal immigrants are coming over in dinghies, and they're getting what I need. And do you know what they said to me? If you don't get into this ambulance, we'll have to force you because you'll get hypothermia. I'm wanting to kill myself because they're not housing me. Why are they not housing me? Asks Ian. Because I'm complaining about things that you wouldn't want to have bed bugs crawling on you, would you? Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't want people attacking you. I don't even like being near people because of my anxiety. Oh, I wonder what it's caused by. Could it be early childhood trauma? Yeah, well, that's where it happens. That's where it starts. And then one day you have a midlife crisis and no one wants to help you. That's why my videos are shadow banned, because the government uses trauma to control us. Hence the Tavistock Institute. Here we go again. Is anyone listening to me? Because you wonder why you're all screwed up, because nobody's listening, and I've had enough of it. I've just had enough. Do you know how I know why I know how to deal with people like Lucy? Because I've got an elder sister. These people have probably been traumatized by their own fathers, beaten by them, sexually abused. They grow up and become narcissists who work in the MP office, and they treat the good people like us like dirt. But my eldest sister is in denial. People are scared of her because she's a tyrant. She's a landlady. My father is screwed up because his father beat him. He admitted this openly on Facebook. But he, unfortunately, the abuser goes on to abuse. And hence the cycle, hence the demonic stronghold. And that is what my sister's done to me. And I can tell you now, if this was my dying breath, you will hear Bryony telling it how it is. I don't care if there are people in the PAP community doing nasty things, emailing Dan one thing and doing another. I couldn't care less. If there are genuine people, I'm genuinely thankful and pleased. But I've done everything that I can. Same with my partner. Why don't his parents care? Why do they leave a vulnerable person? I'm not Superwoman. Anyway, an hour has gone by. The clock's ticking a whole hour. I need to just cool it a bit. I haven't looked at the comments since that rant. But you know where I'm going with this. I don't know. anyway. This is where it all starts in early childhood, and then you have a midlife crisis. Mine came in my 30s, and now I'm just thinking they just want me to go and die. But this is the last. This has got to be it now. This has got to be it. This has got to be it, because I'm done with it. I'd like to be relaxed, but I'm not relaxed because I don't know what is going to happen to me. My money, I don't know how much I can stretch out what is left, because I've been in this hotel for half a year. I did have to, for 3 nights, go away and come back because the whole hotel was booked out. They said it was for the BBC. Yeah, because the BBC really care about the homeless and the vulnerable, don't they? And yet I've got 2 Panorama producers' phone numbers on my phone. I feel like ringing them up, but I'm not feeling confident enough right now. Yasmin Yehudi and this other guy, Panorama producers. But, you know, the BBC are the enemy within, so if they can cover up paedophilia and the terrible things that have happened to those young people and children who are more messed up than I could ever, they don't have the guts that I have. But yeah, I spoke out and they did everything to destroy me. And well, all I can say is, will hell be hot enough for them? I don't know. Anyway, excuse my words anyway, because I'm very upset, of course. I haven't read your comments, sorry. Never apologise for being you and have lots on your mind. I'm not offended if you don't text back. Thank you, Ian. Bless you. Bless you. Thank you. I hope you're only joking when you said dirty cow, but I know it's all right. I'm not a wallflower, as you can see. No, I've got to go and have another bath because these clothes, I just threw them back on just to go and go downstairs because I'm on 2 floors up. Hi, Bobby. Quick hello. I'm not feeling well, so going to go back. Oh, I'm sorry, Bumblebee. Hello there. I hope you feel better. I hope you have a good rest, Bumblebee. Sorry, I don't know your real name. It feels a bit strange saying Bumblebee. Bullying is rubbish. Oh, it's okay. Respect, not using the damn labels they diagnose you with. Well, yeah, I mean, Bumblebee, yeah, this is why I don't have shame, but I now know why you've used certain labeling. They've changed label. That's what they do. They change your mental health labels. They switch it round. They do. Do you know what? The Herald is a pile of shite because they only print what they want to print, but there's so much more, and they don't want to hear me. And I've seen a lot and heard a lot. They print some really crappy little articles. I mean, come on, man. Look, Brave Bryony battles on. That was in 2003, 2004. I hadn't, in comparison to what I'm going through now, I had it easy, man. Seriously. But what they've been doing to me in the past 6 years and the lies they've printed in the Herald that I beat the police. This is Tavistock Institute of Human Relations stuff. This is the Committee of 300. This is the committee. This is human relations. mind control. The governments are using fear to control everyone. And why? I just, no one could feel more alienated than me when I started seeing the mouth masks whilst I was going through they wouldn't see what was going on right under their noses. So Juliet, yeah, I haven't told her this because she's worn a mouth mask, but I'm not going to go there with, that's, I don't want to enter anything else. But I was in my dressing gown and she was a passerby and I was literally going help. And I suppose it's those who are a little bit more switched on and have that empathy. But anyway, Bumblebee, I hope you have a good rest. And sorry, what did you download? Oh, sorry, because I can't see what everything you're saying. Sorry, I can't see everything that you're what's this about the legal side of housing vulnerable women? Sorry, I don't. But I hope you have a good rest. I'm just scrolling down the notes because I can't see what. Obviously, I don't know whilst I've been talking what's going on in the chat. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, Bumblebee. Yes, because I do understand the triage. To a degree, the triage thing and a risk of death being high category. That makes sense. Yeah. What makes me angry though is they are perpetuating that. Because the council aren't doing anything, they are perpetuating I wouldn't be nearly half as suicidal as what I am now if they were providing me with safe housing, not just housing, safe housing, and as well as appropriate. We're talking about dangerous places. The idiot that I recorded with a hate crime towards me, which I haven't reported to the police, but I've got it recorded. Well, I've got so many dictaphone recordings, they're hours long. The whole thing is full up. But he called me an effing spastic. Now, according to Dan on one of his videos, in Glasgow, that's considered a hate crime. Now, I'm not politically correct, but being called an effing spastic by someone who is giving you the key to the place where you've had your window smashed and you've been assaulted and attacked and dealt with nutcases. And this A&A contractor also told me, upon giving me the key, that he had walked in on dead bodies in another one of the properties. And let me tell you, just like all these other people, including David, the MP caseworker, he looked tearful. You can see the distress in people's eyes because it's chaos out there. No one's doing anything. I've seen things that most people will never, ever get to even hear of in a lifetime. Because I've been that vulnerable, I've been opened up to seeing and hearing things. So I smell BS. And I, unfortunately, sadly, very sadly, someone who claims to be a wheelchair user has taken advantage of my good nature on here and done a Caroline Stevens. She had the nerve to come back on here, and Brian, who's one of my moderators, was saying he wanted me to, and I said, no, Brian, come on, she's lied to me. I don't want to know. Why is she coming on here? And she threatened me in my comments section. with something she has no evidence of, which just wasn't making any sense. And I don't care what her issues are. I don't need it. I'm always feeling sorry for people. Oh, it's because of my mental health. No, absolutely no. Whether you've got a learning disability, autism, what you can, you could even tell me I'm mentally handicapped or whatever the PC word is now. I don't care. If you're, obviously to some degree, I'm not stupid, but if someone is outright lying to me, they've got the capacity to get on this YouTube and lie to me and threaten me when I've tried to help them. No, you're off, you're out, bye-bye, don't want to know. There are a lot of vulnerable people in Eastbourne, but when someone goes out of their way to attack someone, and we're talking not just breaking the rules, we're talking public order offences. Right. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to just leave it at that now, because there are people in the PAP community I cannot. I'm being wary of. Let's just say, saying I don't know Dan, and I don't know that. Dangerous. That is very dangerous. Because I'm being told there are people in the PAP community who care, but I'm being lied to. I've set up YouTube for my own personal documentation, not for any other reason, not to get to meet. I will call out people if they've lied to me, but I haven't set this up to create controversy or to get involved in anything else other than what I am documenting. If I want to talk about this, that, and the other, that's my choice. But obviously, this has been a little bit long, this live stream again. Dan did say keep your live streams perhaps a bit shorter. Yeah, because then otherwise they go on for hours and I'm just ranting. But everything I'm saying is serious. With it, perhaps every now and again I talk about all the slightly woo-woo stuff, like the paranormal stuff. But keeping everything, that's when I'm having just a general chit chat. But everything I'm talking about is obviously serious. But when I talk about paranormal stuff, it's when I'm talking about everything that I talk about is relevant. The demonic stuff, the evil stuff, it's real, and I can explain in biblical terms why these things are real. Even though my faith is pretty much, I think I know I'm under demonic attacks. I know that. Calling a spade right now, I don't know what's real and what's not. I pray for people because I don't know what else to do. I don't feel like it. I'm feeling the way Dan does. I'm feeling like when you die, that's it. So I don't know how he I think everybody's different though. My partner's all I've got. I've thought about making a live stream about, because I keep thinking if I was to die for whatever reason, what message would I want out there? So sometimes my live streams look like I'm giving my last words, my last mortal words on earth, so to speak. Obviously because of circumstances and state of mind, but they have put me in these circumstances. They want me to take drugs. They want me to take drugs and just be someone that doesn't care, because that I now know how people end up on drugs. and alcoholics. I've got some alcohol here that I haven't opened, but I don't drink because they're not doing their legal duty towards me. I don't even drink. Oh my God. What have they put on record? I know some of it. They use the labels to control people. Initially, when I was 15, they wouldn't even diagnose me with chronic depression. Then, a couple of years ago, I'm dragged into St Mary's House despite these failings, and they say I suffer from psychosis because I'm putting up a protest at what's being done to me. I would suggest anyone who wants help with their mental health, do not go through the system. That is just my advice. There's enough information online, and I have to be careful what I say to some extent, but do not touch tablets that are given for mental health from a GP. That's my opinion, but I've got to be careful what I say because, because of the controversy. But I've seen and I'm aware of the side effects. But there we are. That's why some of these psychiatric nurses had personalised number plates and flashy cars. So, yeah, I am hated by these Luciferians. And I just hope and pray there are people in the comments that 3 months back, a man was standing on the edge of Portland cliffs naked, telling people he was going to jump. He was bleeding from his arms. Someone called ambulance, but it took them 47 minutes to arrive. Wow. Amazing. Terrible. Bumblebee tea. I need rehousing and I'm being fobbed off. My flat is a prison in my wheelchair. Oh no. I'm so sorry, Bumblebee. You need prayers. You need help. I'm in temporary care placement, but got to return home before I move. I was told I was on housing list. Emails say not. I'm sorry, Bumblebee. I mean, I'm in that position where, I feel bad in the sense that, I'm able-bodied, but obviously you can't compare anyone to anyone, physical or mental health. But, I do still, whilst I'm, talking for myself, I do feel, I'm always going to feel, I won't be thinking of other people until I actually think of other people, because I'm in the thick of this on my own. So I'm not going to think of other people. But when I hear what you're saying, I feel guilty because obviously I don't have physical disabilities. You're in a wheelchair in temporary care placement, got to return home before you move. Oh, gosh. You were told that you were on the housing list. Emails say not. But the housing list, I know a lady who's had leaks, that the roof fell in because she had a corrupt landlady. And she was on the, I don't know if she's in housing now, but for 35 years she was on the housing list. But if you come over in a dinghy, But can you understand, though, why when I ran into the sea, they threatened me, if you don't get in the ambulance, we'll forcibly take those clothes off you. They're the ones who made me do it. They're perpetuating this. That red-haired witch that I said to you about, Ian, she works... Oh, I'm going to get angry just talking about it. She works in the Meadowfield, Worthing. I've never met her before. She said, mind my tea with that cup. I was in the middle of talking to two vulnerable men, one of whom is well known for saying Jesus loves you. He's got it's like a tick, but he was basically, he might have been a victim of a slightly cultish thing. And he had a Bible, and he's very and he talks, that's all he talks about. Fair enough. But he's I won't be talking to him again because he said, you don't love Jesus. He turned funny towards me. He got very funny, and I thought he was very sweet up until that point. But this nutcase who works in the psychiatric unit, she said, you got the help. I know, I work upstairs. This is Sussex Partnership. I said, excuse me, I have a difference of opinion, and I'm speaking to these two men. You started the conversation. I said, no, I did not. Could you leave? And she said, right, that's it. And she got up and she threatened me with security. This is someone who works in a psychiatric unit. They are mental. They bully each other in admin. That's why, guys, I said during a meeting, you've got to speak up. The ward manager got up and walked away, John. A nursing assistant looked tearful. These youngsters, these youngsters. And she said, Bryony, you're upsetting people. I said, what? By telling people to speak up? I've been assaulted, bullied, you name it. I want to be an advocate for the truth, that they are shutting people down, and I can't find anyone like me. When I end this live stream, guys, I want you to go away. I've got 5 people watching now. If I can do something, it would be good to know that I'm at least in some way or another inspiring people to just do what people should be doing anyway. And I'm speaking for myself because I'm cross that there's so much more I could be doing. But I haven't had a life. I've needed support. I've done care work with the elderly. I was bullied when I did care work with the elderly. When this article, Brave Bryony Battles On, was made for me. I was bullied so badly, I took an overdose of antidepressants and my mother had to call in sick. The worst abuse that I have been from Sussex Partnership and Sussex Police. They have made me want to take my own life. So if anything does happen, it's all out there for the world to see. Sod it. It is out there. Do you know what I mean? I've heard the horror stories. One of these vile creatures that I was scared of for my life, I learned from someone in the foyer of this big hotel that used to be quite famous at one point. It used to be like the Grand Hotel many moons ago. Now it's known as Homeless Hotel because it's gone downhill since Britannia took over. But I spoke to someone in the foyer. There's a lot I could say. It's I've had some idiots come on here and attack me and stuff, but basically they said that the individual, someone from the travellers community, which they have a bad reputation, excuse me. She was a raging alcoholic. Wait till you hear this. She was absolutely so drunk that she came in covered in blood. She was that drunk She came in covered in blood. The police knew about her. They did nothing. And yet someone who's got a physical disability, excuse me, he was having a celebratory can of beer, and the staff that managed the property asked him not to drink because of the rules. And yet he'd blatantly ignored this dangerous woman whose partner had threatened people, including there was a mother and baby in there, mother, baby, and daughter in there, little baby. A drunk had fallen over the pram onto the baby. One of the Eastbourne hotels blew up into our road. You couldn't make this up. It was like a scene from World War II. I slept through that, and yet there was smoke. I got a knock on the door to say, have you got smoke coming in? I was like, no, what's happened? I slept through it. I didn't know. It was burning. It was on fire. It had blown up. But I was more disturbed by the nutters in there. Now, I've since learned that the woman from the traveller community whose partner had threatened someone with a hammer, someone in the foyer had told me she's taken an overdose and killed herself since then. This is all throughout the so-called the plandemic, shall we say, and everyone's wearing mouth masks, but they're ignoring the fact that people are killing themselves, killing each other, young people coming into with knives in the shopping centre, and the police do nothing about it. But they are not, the local MP are ignoring neighbours and people like me who are putting our lives, have been put at risk. Our lives have been put at risk. I have been self-funding this hotel for half a year. The manager of this well-known Britannia hotel knows about it. We are a small, tiny island of a country, and daily loads of people are coming in on boats and dinghies illegally, and someone who was born in this country, has been made to sleep rough for complaining about my safety, about being attacked, bed bugs crawling on me. There you go, there's my birth certificate. The legal fiction. I was born in Buckinghamshire. Here's my passport. There's my poor passport. My late mother didn't even like the fact that they changed the British passport. It's all there, all there. Born in this country. Signed my mother's death certificate at the town hall, which is where the MP office is, who have made me feel threatened. The MP office. I signed my mother's death certificate 3 days after she died. 3 days after she died. I was in supported accommodation, and I complained about harassment in there as well. I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm done with it. They have got legal duties, and they've committed crimes against me in every shape and form you can imagine. We, as human beings under common law, we've got so many rights. And I've put the CFO on notice. 16 weeks ago. They have 12 weeks to respond to this. I have proof that there you go, there's my, if I would have cut myself with bleeding, with blood, but I didn't want to cut myself, to do a thumbprint to show that I am the living woman and not the legal fiction. But I didn't want to cut myself, because who wants to make themselves bleed? So I had to use red ink to do a thumbprint. You can't see it, but that's my thumbprint to show that I am the living woman. And it's in red ink, which they use to show blood. Blue is for overseas. Black is for, well, you don't use black ink unless it's okay to use it on the envelope, but blue is naval, isn't it? But there you go. That's thanks to this truthers community. Oh, Ian, he jumped to his death. That's terrible. It's terrible, isn't it? I can't see all of this. So it's all a little bit. Do you mind if I just look at this later? Because I need to end the live stream now and sort of take a break. But a prayer for you, Bumblebee, Abby, I hope I hope you have a good rest. And I hope and pray that they help you out with your housing. And I hope and pray that Dan is better. And to you, Ian, as well. I just need to sort of take a break because there's so much that anyway, I'll talk to you later, guys. Okay. I hope this might still be there later. All right. Thanks very much.